This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening. I'm Sabrina Brown. Thank you for joining us. Slow-moving and possibly catastrophic Hurricane Matthew has veered away from Jamaica and is closing in on the western end of Haiti. On its current path, the Category 4 storm is expected to impact virtually every island of the Bahamas. Residents of Inagua are expected to begin feeling the effects of the storm by 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. The northern Bahamas could begin feeling the impact on Thursday. For an update now on this monstrous storm and how it will affect the islands of the northern Bahamas, let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Kirk James.
It's now moving north at 6 miles per hour with 140 miles per hour winds. Expected to move northward into the southern islands on Tuesday, and of course affect the central islands Wednesday. By late Wednesday, it should be affecting our northwestern portion. The extreme northwest Bahamas Thursday look like it'd be hazardous and treacherous for us. That's on the current projected path. Now be advised, the system is very far away and it's quite a bit of time for a lot of things to change. However, you must go with the latest track, and this is the latest track, taking it very close, the center of Matthew, very close to the Abacos. Hurricane force winds extend outward to 30 miles per hour, 30 miles, and the tropical storm force winds extend outward 185 miles. So Abacos certainly will be close to the hurricane force winds, and Grand Bahama could get some strong tropical storm near hurricane force winds, and that'll be Thursday. Everybody should be in safe indoors and safe dwellings, be it at home or shelter or with a friend or family member. You want to be safely indoor to weather out the storm, paying close attention to the official media broadcasts. News stations, have your portable radios, stand by. You should have your water, non-perishable goods, quite a bit of that. Make sure the drains are clear. Your shutters are ready to put on. You're going to put them on Tuesday. There's been a lot of broadcasts on this activity, and the Hurricane Center advise you to listen to your local media. Too many people paying attention to social media and U.S. broadcasts. Yes, they are helpful, but the local media is the one that has your greatest interest at heart.
The Minister for Grand Bahama meeting with all heads of government agencies as well as other relevant partners this morning to finalize a contingency plan as Hurricane Matthew approaches. Those in attendance had an opportunity to outline their evacuation plan and protocols in preparation for the passage of this deadly storm. Shashina Roll has that story.
It was a packed room as all heads of local government agencies, as well as other relevant partners, gathered to share their emergency plans as Hurricane Matthew approaches. After being briefed on the movement of this dangerous storm by Chief Meteorologist Kirk James, Minister for Grand Bahama Dr. Michael Darville urged all residents to pay attention to Hurricane Matthew as storms are unpredictable.
We are calling all residents from Sweetings Key to West End to make the necessary preparations for this storm. Please ensure that your property are secured and pay close attention to further instructions from NEMA and the Grand Bahama Disaster Committee. You can follow us and you can follow the progress of the storm via the Ministry of Grand Bahama Facebook page. There's been a lot of misinformation regarding the storm and school closures circulating on social media.
Assistant Superintendent of Police Emerick Seymour says that they have been in a state of readiness since the start of the hurricane season. He too is asking the public to take heed to official warnings, especially mandatory evacuations.
If the order is given for an evacuation, please, I implore you, please do so. Because last time residents of Grand Bahama didn't heed the warning. And so in the middle of the hurricanes, in the middle of them, we find ourselves going out to rescue people in the middle of it, to our own detriment.
In the event you have to evacuate, Assistant Director of Social Services Paula Marshall says trained persons are ready to welcome residents into the local shelters.
We are asking persons, please, also to remember to bring the necessary things that they need to have with them during the time when they're at the shelters. We will be supplying some basic necessities, but we are asking persons who come to the shelter to make sure and bring with them the blankets and clothing and basic food stuff that are needed in order to sustain themselves while they are at the shelter.
Tammy Mitchell, representative for the Disaster Consultative Committee and NEMA, says they are in ready mode and shares how you can be of service during the time of this impending storm.
I will be calling on persons who are available to assist as volunteers in terms of getting the supplies packed for social services to be distributed to the actual shelters.
Shashina Roll, ZNS Network News.
The southern communities of Grand Bahama know all too well of the damage associated with such a storm. In October of 2012, Hurricane Wilma devastated that area and residents were forced to evacuate due to rising flood waters. We visited that area today to see how residents were preparing for Hurricane Matthew. Communities on the coastline of the Southern District were quiet Monday afternoon. Residents appeared to be going about their usual business. However, we did find one person boarding up his house. Ronald Russell, who lives in Lou's Yard, says he's leaving nothing to chance.
I don't got all my shutters fixed up on and putting them on.
Have you gotten your supplies and stuff for like food supplies from the store?
I always have that.
Other residents in Pinders Point and Hunters also know the fury of hurricanes.
They say it should touch down there by Thursday. So I believe in that the people heed it and take care of themselves between now and Thursday.
We can ride it out.
So are you preparing your house or anything?
Well, we got everything is in order.
We're getting ready to board up and go shopping and get your supply of grocery. We're in a low area, so anytime we talk about storm, we have to be very, very, very careful. So we have to be prepared.
In the Smiths Point area, residents who work and live there say they are praying but also preparing.
I'm afraid of hurricane to start with, but we have some preparation in mode at this time, and hopefully, we hope they don't come to the northern Bahamas.
We're taking precautions, we're just waiting until they get a little closer, and as you can see, the building is pretty much open, so the breeze will just flow straight through. Now we move the benches, the table, the chairs, and we secure them. With the houses, we board them up.
Alan Russell says he believes residents are heeding the warnings.
I was in town just now. I noticed by the Seymour, they got traffic jam there.
Now, Hurricane Matthew is projected to dump lots of rain in its path, and for areas known for flooding, this huge storm could create a serious problem. Kimberly Mullings took a drive to the east to get a sense of what residents hope to do in that flood-prone area.
We traveled through the various settlements of East Grand Bahama on Sunday to see how residents were preparing for the storm, or if they were preparing at all. Many of them said they were waiting until Monday to begin shopping for hurricane supplies and battening up their homes if necessary while watching Hurricane Matthew. However, Floyd Smith, a McLeanstown resident, says his family began preparing from last week.
You must do your shopping. That's something that was already done from Friday of last week. And while I'm preparing to put the shutters on your window, hopefully tomorrow. We're watching the storm as we speak.
Smith says East Grand Bahama residents usually take storms lightly. However, he hopes they are ready for whatever comes their way.
From the last storm that we had, Jane and Francis, a lot of us took it for granted and wasn't fully prepared for it. But I would hope that taught us a lesson, that we don't take these storms for granted and do the necessary preparation that we need to do to protect our homes and family.
Joseph Thomas is way ahead in planning. He says he's ready for Hurricane Matthew, having prepared as best as he could.
I just finished doing some rounding up with some containers and stuff. I've already buttoned down a lot of stuff, secure a lot of my boats. And first thing tomorrow, I'm going to put all my shutters up. I already got them. I just got to put them up. Tomorrow morning I'll dash in the Freeport really try to pick up some dry goods and I'll go from there. But I got one more boat out. I'm waiting for them to come in now, then I'll haul that up.
Thomas says if necessary, he will evacuate his family and will travel to Freeport because he's not prepared to take any chances.
You don't want to be up here with a storm from the south. If it's a Category 2, I probably would stay. Anything more than a Category 2 from the south, I'll take me and my family into Freeport, probably get a hotel room or something like that. Whatnot. But I definitely want to be around here with the storm coming out of the south, because I saw what it did a couple of years ago with one of the storms that came out of the south and wasn't even really Category 1 good, and I saw the damage it did.
Both Smith and Thomas are willing to assist others in the community with preparations if necessary. Kimberly Mullings, ZNS Network News.
Preparation is the key over on the island of Abaco as well. That northern island has been hit by many storms over the years, and because of this, residents are on alert. Megan Shepard is in Abaco tonight.
It's all systems go here on the island of Abaco as residents and government officials alike prepare for the impending Hurricane Matthew. Family Island Administrator for Central Abaco, Charles Moss, says all necessary teams are in place and they are ready and fully prepared for any impact.
Some of the entities involved with the Royal Bahamas Police Force, the Royal Bahamas Defense Force. Certainly we can't do much without the Social Services Department. We had our fire and rescue who was also involved. We had the emergency service, EMS. They too were involved. The administrative office is crucial in this and trying to tie everything together. The public hospital authority and clinic were also here. They were involved. We had the private partnership with the Chamber of Commerce. The president of the Chamber of Commerce, he was here also. So everybody has a vested interest in what's going on with this Hurricane Matthew as it impacts the Bahamas.
Moss notes that preparation is key, along with being up to date with all weather advisories. He says he believes residents are taking this weather threat very seriously.
Without a doubt, we certainly want to encourage persons to pay heed to this system. We don't know exactly where it's going to. We know that we are in the cone of uncertainty, and therefore persons need to pay attention to this. Passing by the supermarkets, yes. Passing by the local hardware store, yes. Persons are in there, persons are preparing, so they're taking it serious. And so that's one of the things that we like what we've seen so far.
While various crews are in place for rescue and safety purposes, Moss is urging residents to be wise and stay indoors during any hurricane activity.
During the height of a hurricane, we're not going to be out. Everybody has been advised that once the alert has been given, you to take and man your post, you to remain there until the all clear signal has been given. It's unfortunate that some persons do not take these warnings very seriously and they want to go out to see what's happening and God forbid something happens to them and they seek the services of the EMS or BEC or whomever, Royal Bahamas Police Force, Defense Force. My officers have been given instructions. When the danger has passed to you first, then you can look after others. Because I'm not going to have anybody putting their lives at risk for somebody who wasn't paying attention.
Now, as Hurricane Matthew makes its way throughout the Caribbean and head toward the Bahamas, Moss is urging all residents to remain alert and to stay safe. Reporting from the islands of Abaco, I'm Megan Shepard for ZNS Network News.
The island of Bimini also gearing up for Hurricane Matthew. Our Joan Davis-Roll is on that northern island. Tonight she tells us how residents are preparing for the storm.
The island of Bimini bracing itself for what is being described as a ferocious storm. And according to government officials here on this northern island, they're not taking this threat lightly. It was a meeting of the minds as public and private sector stakeholders gathered at the Magistrates Court in Allenstown, Bimini, for a special hurricane disaster preparedness meeting. Officials attempting to cover all grounds, from flooding to evacuations, if and when Hurricane Matthew comes knocking.
We have had a series of meetings as we prepare for this impending hurricane. We would have had a meeting on Friday, then one again on Saturday, and we are in the process of having a meeting as we speak. All leaders of the government department, heads of government departments. We have the BEC, Patelco, obviously the police and the defense force, social service. Those are the main players. And we have rescue, we have persons on the search and rescue committee, and communications. And these are all shelter managers. And these involve, people from the community.
Bimini's Island Administrator Oscar Munro says his team has been diligently canvassing the various communities, including churches and businesses, in hopes of sensitizing residents that a Category 4 hurricane may be heading Bimini's way.
We have a concern with, low-lying areas
We also have, if there's a lot of flooding, that we have to make sure that we go into those areas, sensitize the public as to what to expect, and help them to understand where the shelters are or those people who need to evacuate. When that time comes, then that they should be prepared to do so.
Monroe gave this update regarding shelters on that northern island.
On the island of Bimini, we have 4 shelters. We have the Gateway Gymnasium, and that is for persons in the Baileytown area. That is being manned by, that is mainly for persons at the resort. Then we also have the old government clinic, which has been recently refurbished, and that's also in Baileytown, so that's readily available. We have the BUB Hall, which is on Queen Street, Queens Highway, and then we have the Big Game Club and Marina, whereby persons from South Bimini and those coming in from Cat Key would utilize.
In Bimini, reporting for ZNS Network News, I'm Joan Davis Roll.
Stay with us, there's more news after this.